All right, ready to roll on a Saturday morning. Thanks to our friends at Insperity. Visit Insperity.com for powerful HR solutions with exceptional follow-through. 713-780-3776 is the number to get in here as far as the players is concerned. You can also get your swing questions in and other questions via Twitter at ESPN975. Charlie, great to be back in studio with you. How was Congaree?
Congaree was awesome.
And why were you there?
I was there to participate in a golf school for the ambassadors of Congaree, who are the members, and we put them through the programs that our kids from all over the world go through in the summer. So we had putting, we had chipping, we had full swing. We had Billy Harmon, who is the young son of Claude Harmon and the youngest brother of the Harmon brothers, and he might be the funniest man I know.
He's doing a little bit of caddying this year on the bag for Bill Haas a little bit.
He was on the bag for Bill, and he says Bill's still got a long ways to go to get his confidence back, but he thinks he will. But it's once you lose your confidence in anything, you really have to work hard to get it back, because the devil in you takes over, and you got to substitute those bad thoughts for good thoughts. He's got to remember that he won the Players' Championship, with an incredible shot out of the water. Remember that?
I think that was the FedEx Cup Tour Championship.
Yeah.
Right? When he hit the little
That's it.
little chip out of the mud.
Yeah.
Really unrepeatable. Charlie, when you look at Congaree,
Yes.
This is a golf course that operates around a foundation that helps junior golf in the Atlanta area. Maybe Savannah as well. You can correct me on the location.
It's southern South Carolina.
Okay.
It's an hour from the Georgia border, where Savannah is. But it's a piece of property that John McNeely and Bruce Davidson, two golf pros, had a vision that if they built the right property, they could raise money for kids and have a program in the summer that will get the kids to college from all over the world.
Yeah.
I've had 6 kids from Argentina come up, and they have limited resources, but they have good grades and they want to go to college. So they come and we introduce them to the college golf coaches. It's such a great program. It's so well done. Bob McNair was one of the principals of the property. He was from South Carolina, and Mr. Freakin they built something that's unique in the country, and I was proud to be a part of it.
Glad you're back, Charlie. Great to have you in studio.
Me too. But the only thing I hate about golf season, you know what that is?
What's that?
Allergies.
Yeah, it's been bad the last week.
Last week I couldn't talk. Here, I had laryngitis. Watch this.
Terrible, huh? You
Nothing
walk
would come
outside, the car's green. Charlie.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
it was coming at you like a cloud
Yeah.
of what?
Yeah.
So
I was at High Meadow Ranch, I think last Friday, and instead of picking the grass out of the ground to get my wind, I mean I could just kind of see pollen floating through the air. It's pretty crazy. Listen, Wyndham Clark leads the way at the Players at 14 under par, opened with 65. We'll get into that leaderboard. You have, this is a star-studded leaderboard. Xander Schauffele, 2-time PGA Tour winner this year, 5-time total champion. Nick Taylor also in a tied for second. Matthew Fitzpatrick, Maverick McNeely in a tie for fourth at 9 under, and then Matisse Schmidt and Scotty Scheffler, Corey Connors, and Tom Hoagie in a tie for sixth at 8 under. How has Sawgrass looked to you so far, Charlie?
It's wonderful. It's almost too manicured, and the fairways are just perfect. The conditions on the greens, they're a little softer than they want, so that scoring is there. You can make plenty of birdies to offset your double bogeys. I mean, there's a lot of double bogeys out there lurking.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel sorry for Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
I mean, the first day he opens with 65, and 10 birdies. You kidding me? On that golf course, and then he follows it up yesterday. He's hitting it all over the park.
Yeah.
You
One
know,
over yesterday.
I would send him. You know who I'd send him to?
Who'd you send him to? Charlie Epps.
No.
Let's see.
No, I'm out of that business.
Billy Harmon.
Butch Harmon.
Butch Harmon.
He's got to learn how to fade. He can't. He tries to fade the ball and it draws and it goes in the water. I mean, he's got to get a Navy on that golf bag.
Charlie, this is what he says. He says he feels good with the woods. The swing feels good with the woods. The driver, 5-wood, 3-wood. He puts the same swing on his irons, and the ball starts left and goes left. This is
You know
Rory.
why?
Why is that?
Well, a driver is the longest club in the bag, 44 inches, 45, something like that. And that makes that club very, very flat. So the swing's more around you. So it's easy to hit a draw with the driver, especially when you're talented. But now the pitching wedge are the most upright clubs. And so his swing is in conflict with the short irons. And that's why his short iron swing, he's got to get that club more upright and hit that baby cut. And I wouldn't leave the driving range until that ball went left to right.
Yeah.
So saw it off.
He had a golden opportunity to match Scheffler last week at Bay Hill. Rory did, and fired a 41 on that front nine on Sunday.
41.
41 Rory did in that front nine at Bay Hill last Sunday. The inconsistency is, well, I feel like Rory's always had a large dispersion, but as far as his wedge game, his iron play, it can really get sloppy right now.
That's exactly right. He's got to get closer and get more upright with those wedges and have a three-quarter swing, half swing. His best swing is his driver. Yeah. It's way too long. It's hard to control that. Nicklaus was one that he was able to control his driver's swing so that he wouldn't get any penalties, and he'd play smart. You know, Scotty Scheffler, who's hurt, his swing mirrors more like Nicklaus used to swing the golf club, and he can hit the ball as good as anybody, and he's the number one ball striker. I just hope this neck injury is not lingering.
I think he put some biofreeze on it, Charlie. I don't know who to start with, Nicklaus or Scheffler. Both they've both delivered the goods. Jack with his words, Scotty with his play over the last 2 weeks. Let's start with Scotty. Talking about game improvements. Over the final round during his 5-shot victory at Bay Hill last Sunday, Scheffler rinsed 16 of 16 putts inside 15 feet. We haven't seen that from him over the last year. How do you build upon that confidence? How does Scotty build upon that confidence with the putter from last week?
Well, realizing that what he's doing now is what suits his stroke. And Randy Smith, his teacher, who's had some illnesses and hadn't been able to spend enough time with him, is now on the tour with him, and I think they can really groove that putter stroke through practice.
Yeah,
and he's been working at it hard. God knows that, and I hope he's coming to Houston here in a couple of weeks, so we'll be able to see that.
We're 2 weeks away from the Houston Open,
yeah.
But Charlie,
but you're also going to have slumps, just like in any. Jack Nicklaus had slumps, so he went through his slump. Now he's come out of it, and summer could be really, really good for him.
Prior to his 5-shot victory last week at Bay Hill, Scheffler switched from a blade putter to the TaylorMade mallet putter. You don't mind the tinkering, do you?
No. Change sometimes is good. Arnold Palmer had 3,000 clubs in his garage because if one didn't perform, he would put it away. And Nicklaus was the same way. His last major victory was with a putter that nobody was going to use, the Response. And this looked good for his eyes. It was changed, and so he didn't know he couldn't make it. It could miss with this putter, and so he went on to win his last major championship in the last green jacket, 1986, with the Response.
Yeah, and Scheffler did the same thing last week, switching from that TaylorMade blade putter to Scotty Cameron blade putter to the TaylorMade mallet. That was Scheffler's 7th PGA Tour title at 27 years old. All 7 wins, Charlie, have come since the start of 2021.
And how much did he win? $4 million?
Yeah.
$4 million.
Arnie would be happy.
Arnold. How about Jack? Arnold made $1.6 million in his career. He made it in the afternoon. I mean, it's incredible the amount of money. Can we sustain that? That's a conversation for another day. But the game is in turmoil, financial turmoil.
Well, I think financially and you can, agree or disagree. Financially, it seems like it's in a fine place, but maybe the media, the press, the views have not quite matched the money. But once again, conversation for another day.
They can't sustain the money that they're playing for. Where's it going to come from?
Well, they got the $6 billion investment from the American sports owners and the SSE.
It was $1.6 billion, wasn't it?
I'm reading somewhere between 3.5 and 6, Charlie.
Well,
you're gonna have to call Steve Cohen or Arthur Blank some of these guys, right? Charlie, you've taught some of these guys.
Sure, but the guys I feel sorry for is Jim Crane running the Houston Open, having to raise another $10 million.
Yeah.
Where does that money come from?
Yeah, and that should be the PGA Tour should be responsible for telling if the PGA Tour goes to Mr. Crane and says, "Hey, you need to raise an additional $10 million." Let's say it's a $20 million purse. Jim Crane's already raised $10 million. If the tour just says, "Hey, we need to raise the purse. You need another $10 million," it should be up to the tour to go get those national sponsors.
They leave it up to the local guys.
Yeah, Jim Crane, Mark Wallace, Texas Children's Hospital,
Right.
Unbelievable job they did to make that deal happen.
We got the perfect rain yesterday for Memorial Park. That grass, we're going to start hearing it grow. It's going to be really in tip-top shape for when the tournament comes here.
All right, when we come back, we'll take your questions. We'll discuss and review some of Season 2 of Netflix Full Swing. Only going to talk about episodes 1 through 3, and we'll just take one question on each episode. Don't want to hang on too much on the PGA Tour Live Battle with the Players' Championship going on. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 Houston, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Back after this.
You're listening to the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the Golf Doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
And before we keep moving on the golf, our longtime partners from Insperity have a couple words for us. Charlie, you've been a brand ambassador for Insperity for many years. You joined the likes of Jim Nantz and Arnold Palmer as one of the great brand ambassadors of an HR company that makes a difference. How about a couple more words as far as Insperity is concerned?
Well, this goes without saying. Insperity has proven to be one of the top companies in the United States because its philosophy, in my opinion, is the correct one. They take care of businesses so the communities can prosper. They want the small businessmen to get all the help they can get with HR primarily, but also good ideas on how to improve their products, their what they're trying to sell. So if you're a small business owner and you want to grow your business 2024, log on to Insperity, give them a call, have them come in. They can review everything or whatever you want them to review, but it's a class operation, and that's what you want. I mean, they know how to treat their people. They know how to treat their customers, and that is the secret to success. We got to keep everybody motivated. It's just like Scotty Scheffler has a caddy that is responsible for his equipment.
Yeah, Ted Scott, best in the business.
And they really make a good team. So Insperity and your small business would make a good team to become more successful than you are today. So give them a call, log on to Insperity.com, and I guarantee you, you'll really, really be happy.
Charlie, Scotty Scheffler, your guy, 6 back of Wyndham Clark's lead. When you have a little bit of crick in your neck like that, a couple things. Scotty's going to be going into the weekend trying to get over, whatever was going on in his neck yesterday. Is it an advantage for him to be this far back chasing?
No, I mean, it's never an advantage to be behind. I don't think so. He's proven that he can play and he can win, and the closer he is to the lead, the more he can build his lead. Just like how many strokes did he win by in Bay Hill?
He won Bay Hill by 5 shots, and he won the Players last year. He's the defending champion. He won the Players last year by 5 shots.
And I'll say that Bay Hill is harder than this course.
Wow.
Especially, the hard greens and so on and so forth. So, it's an interesting leaderboard. There's some guys missing that I have no idea why. Justin Thomas, what's going on there? Jordan Spieth, they were our stars of the future, and where are they?
They got married, Charlie.
Married, children, but they're smart guys. I don't know. I think I just hope they get him back.
Yeah. Well, Wyndham Clark, this leader, this guy who 2 weeks ago I told our producer Abigail that if she walked into a restaurant, she wouldn't know who Wyndham Clark is.
Well, he's got a name like a hotel. Wyndham.
Charlie, that's starting to change because he wins this week. He finishes off this 4-shot lead he has, and all of a sudden he's won the U.S. Open, he's won the Wells Fargo, he's won Pebble Beach, and he's won the Players all in the same year. Now, Full Swing 2, episode 3 of that, Charlie, I don't know if you've watched it yet. I know you'll get a chance to. They bring on Wyndham Clark's mental coach, Julie Elion. Now, how important is it in the game of golf, especially for professional, to work on your mental craft in the game?
It's so important in life to have the right thoughts working for you. So it's every day. It's just kind of like brushing your teeth. You got to get up and have that positive self-talk, be realistic. If you get, going sideways, you got to be, okay, that's okay. You can have some bad holes, but let's get back on track. So the professional athlete or the professional, business person, we all have to have an attitude that is above board, that's really positive, and we know how to talk ourselves out of certain situations. And, that's to me, I'm stuck watching Pockets or Trousers, or it's on Netflix. What the heck's it?
You lost me, Charlie. I'm gonna have to go search that. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back to that. But back to Wyndham Clark. He was one off the 36-hole record at the Players. You look at the best 36-hole records over the years. Greg Norman was 14 under at the halfway point of the 94 Players. He went on to win. Jason Day was 15 under through 36 holes at the 2016 Players. The Aussie went on to win by 4. And then Webb Simpson was 15 under through 2 rounds of the 2018 Players and ended up winning by 4. So, Charlie, not easy to close on a course like Sawgrass. A long way to go through 36. But you look at the history, and this might not be as tough for him to finish and seal the deal as we might imagine. What do you think?
I think so. I think you're right. It's intimidating. The hardest shot at that golf course is the 72nd one on with the drive, and usually the guys that come in the lead, they are able to handle it. Nobody has really made a big number to lose the golf course, lose the golf tournament. So it shapes up pretty good, and the 17th hole, which looks more like a swimming pool.
Yeah, I mean, 40 balls per year in the water.
There's already been 1,000 balls in the history of the tournament. So
I think Bo Hosler hit the thousandth ball in the water on 17. Charlie, what makes Sawgrass so tough to be consistent at? You take Wyndham Clark for example. This is his 5th time competing in the Players. He's never finished better than 27th. You look at Jordan Spieth. He finished 4th in his Players debut in 2014 and then missed 4 of his next 5 cuts at the Players. You look at Angel Cabrera. Besides 2014, he finished 14th that year. Besides that, he really struggled around Sawgrass.
There's courses for horses, and this golf course is really, there's 3 or 4 holes that instinctively just don't set up for certain people, and so they hate coming back to it. That's one advantage. You have the Rota every 10 years. You play the course again. Well, here, this course, you play it every year. And trying to make that walk from the 16th green to the 17th tee, everybody looks to the left. They don't look to the right.
Yeah.
And it's just an intimidating piece of real estate that the golf course architect, Pete Dye, did it, this is what, the 50th anniversary
50th
of this
anniversary,
tournament.
47th year at Sawgrass.
And it's I don't know what you would call it, but for most of these people, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Let's get to a question for you, Charlie. This comes from Frank in Sugarland. Charlie, the 17th hole at Sawgrass is only 135 yards. The average pro wouldn't seem to have an issue with a 135-yard shot, but it is a difficult story with this island green at Sawgrass. What's your experience? Difficult story. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Frank, but Frank asked, what's your experience playing it and giving instruction on it, and can you further talk about the difficulty of the closing stretch at Sawgrass?
Well, I just taught putting at this golf school I was at Congaree, and I used the word focus. You got to be a sniper. You got to be somebody that has that target, and that's all you focus on is that target. Nothing around it matters. This golf course, that 17th hole, the target is in the middle of the green, and you focus on that, and you get your number, and you make it's kind of like Michael Jordan going to shoot a free throw. He's going to have a couple dribbles, do it, and close his eyes and swing, and trust your swing. Trust is a must. You got to trust your swing, but these nerves put doubt in a person's mind and in their hands, and right at the wrong time, all hell breaks loose. Excuse me. So it's focus on the target, and you play with 135 yards. You want to hit it 138 yards because it's going to suck back, but there's guys that can stand up on Sunday and go for that pin on the right, and they make it. But it's hard.
Charlie, 49 water bowls per year on average on the 17th hole. How from the 16th green, the par 5 16th green, about a 3-4 minute walk to the 17th tee box, how do you stay in the flow state and not lose focus? That's what's so tough about this game, right, Charlie? It's not like we're a shooting guard in the corner waiting for a shot, get the pass, react, and shoot. You can make a 20-foot eagle putt and then have 4 minutes to think about it until your next shot.
That's the you got to have a mind that can put your thoughts in the right order. And the sports psychologists that I've talked to and all that, it's just a mind over matter, and it's putting your mind that this is just one more shot. that 135-yard shot with no wind, it's a piece of cake. And you go through your routine, and you practice it all week. Yeah. So, and then you hope for the best.
We're on the other side. We're going to get to a lesson that Open champion Brian Harman went through this week. He did a great segment with Golf Channel's Johnson Wagner, and Harman talked about how him and the great late Jack Lumpkin added a 1-yard fade to Harman's bag. I thought that was great. We'll get to that, Charlie. At number 2 before break, Matthew Fitzpatrick, former U.S. Open champion, won it at the Country Club in 2022, sitting at 9 under, 5 shots back of Wyndham Clark. Fitzpatrick, Charlie, this guy had a weight in his grip. Did you see this? He had a weight in his grip in the driver over the last year, did not notice it, was almost dead last on the PGA Tour last year in driving. I don't understand this. A mechanic knows his tools. How could you possibly forget about that?
I don't know. That was really a surprise, because all the technicians they have on tour, all the manufacturers have their club repair room right there that they can go in and they can have the best of the best. That was just something that was overlooked, and unfortunately they found it, and it's really made the difference.
Yeah, 66-69 to start the week for Fitzpatrick. Once again, there was a weight that was put into his driver at some point last year, but I think it was just a swing tool, or he was just tinkering with something.
And some club repair guy said, "This, let's try this," and then they forgot about it. But it's made a big difference.
Yeah. Another great story going into the weekend. Once again, 1 minute till break here. On the other side, we'll discuss a couple of swing tips, get to some players' coverage, and answer your questions. Maverick McNeely also in a tie for 4th at 9 under par. This is a guy who started the year with no status, Charlie. Had to play on a medical exemption. Was a big name coming out of Stanford a few years ago. Great to see him in the mix and kind of have a story within these stars where someone's really, a guy like Maverick McNeely really working for status at this point in his career.
Well, and he's harmonized.
Butch, huh?
Butch.
Wow. They did talk about that a little bit last night. Incredible.
Yeah.
Going down this leaderboard, Wyndham Clark in the lead at 14 under. He's plus 160 to win going into the weekend. Xander Schauffele, 4 shots back at 10 under par. He's plus 550 going to the weekend. Also in a tie for second. Then this is someone I really like going to the weekend, Charlie. Nick Taylor. He is 12-1 going into the weekend. This guy has the chops to win at TPC Sawgrass on Sunday. Won his home title at the Canadian Open, Charlie, and won the Phoenix Open. Is there 2 more high-stake tournaments, non-major high-stake tournaments on the schedule besides the Canadian Open and the Phoenix Open?
Probably not.
Yeah, maybe the Players.
Well, the Players is a major. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the practice tee on Monday morning is full.
Yeah,
and that's telling you something. The guys get there early because they want to, they want to get their work in and be ready, and that's the way you do it. And Scotty Scheffler, who won at Bay Hill, got in late Sunday night after winning in Bay Hill. He drove up to the golf course,
Ponte
Vedra,
Sawgrass,
and he was on the practice tee.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he overworked himself. But it's a priority, and it's big money. I mean, this is, you win this one, and it almost sets you for your life.
I want to ask you, it's amazing to see a lot of these guys, the bodies, Zalatoris, JT, Hideki, now Scotty. With the swing speeds going up, we're seeing a ton more injuries on the PGA Tour. We got to cut to break. Wyndham Clark, Xander Schauffele, world number 1, Scotty Scheffler in contention at the Players. We'll be right back here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
The Charlie Epps Golf Hour, powered by Insperity, continues
On ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Will Doctor and Charlie Epps.
Charlie, the reigning Open champion, Brian Harman, he's having a nice start to the Players. 72-65. He's 7 under, 7 shots back, heading into the weekend. And he talked before the week about how adding a 1-yard fade, he's a lefty, so a 1-yard right to left fade. He's added that to his bag, and he talked about how that has helped him contend on golf courses he previously could not. Harman worked with the late and great Jack Lumpkin for a long time. This was a vision that Lumpkin always had for Harman, to hit a little fade. Harman's been a big hooker of the golf ball for most of his career. What's the importance of that?
Well, there's a saying is that a fade will listen, but a hook won't.
Well, why is that, Charlie? A fade?
Well, the fade is you have to do something a little more intentional, and it's not as aggressive as a hook is. A hook, your speed is up. You're
Release.
coming from inside out. You're putting a lot more spin on it. And that 1-yard fade, you're reversing the spin of a hook to just slightly, so you, and plus you're using irons. I'm sure he can probably do it with his driver because he was a slinger, a little guy trying to hit it far. But Jack Lumpkin was one of the classiest persons that I ever met in teaching. He worked with Golf Digest. That when I was there, I had him come to Houston Country Club to teach my members. He was just an incredible guy. He a great golf pro at great clubs. He was at Oak Hills up in Rochester, and he was the pros pro. And I was proud to say that he was my friend, and he taught me a lot just in his demeanor. And he never got in a hurry, never tried to overteach, but it was all about the club face. Let's control the club face with the grip, with the approach to the ball. He was so much fun.
His love for a little buttercut,
Yeah.
little fade, was that innovative at that point in time? Was the draw more favorable in Jack Lumpkin's prime?
Yes, I would say that the 40s and 50s, Hogan hated to hook it, so he always tried to hold the face off and tried to make sure the ball didn't start to the left, because most of the time if it starts to the left, it's not coming back. Yeah. Now if you can push it out to the right a little, but with the face open, it's controlling the face of the club with the proper grip, and then its impact, it's kind of like using a screwdriver. You got the shaft of the club in your hands, and you turn it which way that the toe will hang back, and you can hit it with an open degree, 2 degrees open, and hit that what's now called the baby fade.
Baby fade.
Baby fade.
Nothing more consistent, Charlie. You just talked grip. We did have a piece of kind of grip news as far as the PGA Tour is concerned. Max Homa, who was in contention after day one, he shot 68. He shot 75 in round 2, had a triple on the 10th. So he's 1 under heading into the weekend. But he was talking, Charlie, about how he was strengthening his left-hand grip a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Didn't quite give a reason. His exact quote was, I've been working on strengthening up my left hand and doing some reflection. So obviously Homa working on the grip, working on some mental game. When a pro is adjusting his left-hand grip, maybe to a stronger position, what does that tell you as a coach?
He's working on the face of the club. The hands control the face and the speed, but mainly the face. So Hogan, and it's relative to your left thumb. If you put the left thumb, if you're a right-handed golfer, on top of the grip or pointing down towards the face of the club, that's in a neutral position. Now, the more you move your left hand to the right, the stronger it gets, the more you're going to hook it. So you've got to, it's kind of watching that speedometer on the car when you're driving. You don't want to let it go all the way over to the right because that's going to be too fast. So you put your thumb in a position to where the thumb and the index finger of the left hand point more to the left of your shoulder, or sometimes even I would have it make it point at my nose.
Yeah.
But those are things that you do before season. In
So
season,
for a right-hand golfer,
right,
this
that V,
that V
yeah,
points
it's going to
at
point
the
more
left ear.
No, you can point it more towards more to your nose, but don't point it to the left shoulder.
Okay.
It's got to stay between the right shoulder and preferably the right ear.
So this is between the right shoulder. This V is between the right shoulder and the right ear.
Yeah.
When you add this left hand on it,
Yeah.
give me a feel of what that looks like.
We're talking about the left hand. Now you're talking about the right hand.
Correct.
So the right hand V and the left hand V for in on the club, those should be parallel to the right shoulder.
Got it.
If you get that right hand underneath, Mr. Harmon always used to call you got to grip like a ham sandwich. You got to get that thumb more up on. You got to get the index finger. It's kind of like putting a pool cue in your hand. As a support. You put the shaft more in the fingers. Don't put it in the palm. The club does not belong in the palm. You can put the club in the palm with a putter, but not with the driver.
You're keeping the club for the most part, Charlie. True or false? More towards your fingertips in a sense, or no?
Well, it's in the middle of the fingers.
Okay.
And where the fingers hinge, and you can just see how I laid my index finger. I mean, now we got television, so we see that where we are. Get it in the fingers.
And that little teaching segment, thanks to our good friends at King Ranch Ag and Turf. Tom and Adam Belumovich are the great people who own 9 Houston locations. And it is the premier dealership for all John Deere equipment in Houston. Whether you are a homeowner, rancher, contractor, or institution, the King Ranch Ag and Turf team is there to provide you with the equipment solution and full service support that you deserve. As far as the golf is concerned, their partners are Houston Country Club, Whispering Pines Golf Club, which is the #1 golf club in Texas, and includes Memorial Park Golf Course, which is home to the PGA Tour's Houston Open, which will be right here at Memorial Park in just 2 weeks. And we're fired up about that, huh, Charlie?
Fired up.
And no matter your situation, King Ranch Ag and Turf has the deal that you need. Newer pre-owned equipment, parts, service, flexible payment plans, they have it all, and they stand by your side through the process. Houston, Spring, Jersey Village, League City, Katy, Southwest Houston, Angleton, Hockley, Conroe. Go see them at one of their 9 locations and visit their website at King Ranch Ag and Turf to check out any special deals at King Ranch Ag and Turf. Tell them you heard it right here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour. On ESPN 97.5 Houston, once again, that is King Ranch Ag and Turf. And heading into the weekend at the Players, you have Wyndham Clark on top by a 4-shot margin at 14 under par. He shot 65-65 to open the week. That's 1 shot back of the 36-hole record at the Players, and he enters the weekend at plus 160 odds to win. Xander Schauffele and Nick Taylor in a tie for second at 10 under par. Schauffele is plus 550 to win. Nick Taylor 12-1 to win going into the weekend. I like Taylor 4-shot back of Clark. And then you have Matthew Fitzpatrick and Maverick McNeely in a tie for 4th at 9 under par. Fitzpatrick 14-1, McNeely 40-1, as he had no status to start the year. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour. On the other side, we'll do more teaching.
Yes.
We'll get to a couple full swing questions, a little bit more players news. Right here on ESPN 97.5 Houston, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Back after this.
This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
Now from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the golf doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
Yeah, once again, I mean, Wyndham Clark, he's got a golden opportunity to do something very special this weekend. You know, I have a ton of confidence in him because you look at the last, 3 champions that held a 4-shot lead going into the weekend at the Players. You know, Norman did it in 94. He went on to win. Jason Day, another Aussie, did it in 2016. He went on to win. And then Webb Simpson was 15 under through 2 rounds of the 2018 Players and ended up winning by 4. So right now, Wyndham Clark at plus 160 heading into the weekend. I like where his game is at physically, Charlie. I like where his game is at mentally. I think Wyndham Clark, he's going to be a tough guy to beat this weekend.
Definitely. He has proven that the U.S. Open victory was a motivator to get even better. It proved to him that he could play with the best on Sunday in a major, and he won victorious. And since then, he has really distinguished himself. But it's not a fluke. Yeah. This guy's put some numbers on the board, and this weekend he has had a 5-shot lead, and that's huge.
Yeah. He won the U.S. Open. He won the Wells Fargo at Quail Hollow. He made a Ryder Cup. He shoots 60 on Saturday to win Pebble Beach. 60. I think the round of the year thus far. Scotty,
and he said he didn't play good.
I know. Scotty 66 at Bay Hill on Sunday. Very impressive. I think Wyndham 60 at Pebble covers it. I think Cristobal de Soler's 57 is better than both of them a couple weeks ago. How about that? 57. But back to the topic. Xander Schauffele is going to be a chaser this weekend who's had some trouble closing. Scotty Scheffler dealing with some neck injuries. Is there any one of these chasers, Charlie, Schauffele, Scotty Scheffler, Tom Hoagie, Brian Harman, any of these chasers who you like?
I've proven with my past history, I don't pick the right guys.
No. Huh? It's not a pick, Charlie.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you like chasing on the weekend?
Who?
Scheffler, world number 1 Scheffler, Xander Schauffele.
Schauffele has, he won the Olympics. It's the Olympic year. Maybe that's some karma for him. He's got to win a big event.
Yeah.
And this is his time.
Yeah. It's been a few years.
Yeah. He's got to prove. If not, he's going to, just fade into the woodwork. If not, never have won a tournament. Yeah. He's won a couple, but not big.
Yeah. No. Not. He didn't have the resume. His last 2 wins, I think 21 Scottish and 21 Travelers. He's not Nick Taylor, I can tell you that. Doesn't have the kahuna.
Nick Taylor is interesting. He won a big tournament, which was his country's Open championship,
and then wins Phoenix this year.
Yep. So, and that was a great victory. He won. He beat Scotty.
Yeah. No. Great victory. I like Nick Taylor chasing. I want to ask you a couple questions as far as Full Swing is concerned, and I've kind of narrowed down the information. I have 3 questions for you through the first 3 episodes.
Okay.
Now, number one, coming out of episode 1, we heard a lot from Rich Lerner and Brandel Chambly this week on Golf Channel about the PGA Tour lacking nice guys. And I'm sorry. There's too many nice guys on the PGA Tour. It's a tour full of nice guys.
What's wrong with that?
Well, no, there's nothing. Yeah, I know there's nothing wrong with it, and I don't know if it's true, Charlie, because you saw in episode 1 of Full Swing, we saw when Brooks Koepka won the PGA Championship last year. They cut over to Rory McIlroy, and he said, "I am so pissed that Koepka is now the most winningest major champion in the post-Tiger era." There is real.
Then learn how to hit a fade, Rory. Come on.
Yeah.
That hook is not listening to your game.
Yeah, but Charlie, we're not getting the same duels as Jack Nicklaus and Raymond Floyd. No one's looking each other in the eye and saying, "I'm going to take the dinner off your table tonight."
That's right. No, Raymond Floyd was the classic. He was the the gunslinger on Sunday. You know, when he won at Shinnecock, you know, he showed all those hot shots that once he got the bit in his mouth, he could close and he could win.
He's going to take the check, dinner, everything.
That's right.
All your possessions. But my question is, you know, it's not that same feel. It's not that same feel right now, Charlie. You know, there's no banter, you know, except for Ryder Cups. You know,
there's no
Rory's giving out hugs to the winner, Charlie.
Trevino, you know, he loved beating Nicklaus, and he knew he was going to miss a short putt, so Trevino slipped in there. Tom Watson, he was a gamer. He could, you know, bring it when he needed it. Ballesteros, I mean, the king of wanting to, you know, cut your throat and throw your putter into the ocean. You know, he was a gamer. He wanted to win.
You know, episode 2. My question at episode 2. Episode 2 is interesting because they did go inside and give a look at the year Jay Monahan had, and kind of got in his office a little bit. We didn't get too much inside information. The question that I have is, you know, on Monday, Charlie, the PGA Tour Advisory Board is possibly going to have to meet at a private residence in Ponte Vedra Beach with Yasser Al-Rumayyan. There could be a deal that happens on Monday. Jordan Spieth said that in order for this to happen, the entire player advisory board will have to come together. They will not make a decision without any one particular player. Now, my question at episode 2, Dustin Johnson, word for word, said, if LIV and PGA Tour comes together, the PGA Tour owes those who stay loyal to the tour nothing. That's what DJ said. Do you agree?
I don't agree.
Yeah.
I do not agree. And I really believe the people that went to LIV, if they want to come back, they've got to pay a fine.
Okay.
And they drop their membership. They got to come back begging for that privilege of belonging to the PGA Tour, and they gave it away for money, and so be it. But I think they have to come back and say, okay, here's what we'll do. You know, I don't know.
World number 1 Scotty Scheffler said this week, if PGA Tour fans are looking for someone to blame for, you know, if they're upset with the product, you look no further than the guys who left. That's the bottom line. I agree with Scheffler there. I think he doesn't speak unless he really has something powerful to say. That's what I like about our world number 1 right now.
You know, you take Hideki. They offered him big money. No, I'm loyal to the PGA Tour because it made my career. It allowed me. I came and qualified, and I became a member of the PGA Tour, and I'm not going to give that up. And I think the people that give that up have to pay some kind of penalty, and it's got to all go to charity.
Yeah.
It's not that it's going to go to the PGA or in somebody's pocket. But let's take that money and put it to charity. That's to the Warriors.
Yeah.
To our Army guys.
Yeah. Wounded Warriors, Tunnel for Towers.
Yes.
All those good ones. Well said, Charlie. My question for episode number 3. The world of golf, Charlie, keeps going back to this guy, Joel Dahman. Now, wonderful story. 4 or 5 years ago, overcame testicular cancer. He's a PGA Tour winner. We saw him in season 1. We saw him for 30 minutes of episode 3, Charlie. We have better stories in the world of golf right now. We have Chris Kirk, who's come back from alcoholism, won twice on the PGA Tour. We've had Grayson Murray come back from alcoholism, won on the PGA Tour. I don't know if you can answer this question from a production standpoint, but do you find this guy, Joel Dahman, entertaining, even though, he has 2 top 10s in his last 25 starts?
Yeah, no, it was a good story when it first came out. I think it's overdone, and like you say, we have other champions that have overcame so much, and we know drugs and alcohol are such a hideous disease.
Yeah,
and our kids, our juniors got to understand how bad it is, and these guys can show. You can overcome it if you get help, and they got to get help. Don't be afraid to raise your hand and say, please, I'm drowning in alcohol. I want to stop. and Alcohol Anonymous and other people can get the right information to the individual that where they can stop, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah, if you're in the city of Houston, Remind Support Group, also a great group to go see. Charlie, next couple months in Houston, very exciting time. We have the Houston Open in 2 weeks. We have the Chevron Championship at the end of April. We have the Insperity Invitational Champions Tour event, and then we have Live Golf in Houston in June. You've got about 3 minutes left. How about we just talk through what you're most excited about?
Well, one of the most thing for me, I was out for the Chevron Media Day, and they're doing such a good job, and that's going to grow and get the game of golf for the ladies front and center. Stacy Lewis, our friend from many times, she's out there representing the event. It's going to be outstanding. The golf course is in great shape. The
Nicholas course just reopened?
Yes, it just reopened, and it's going to be nice. Insperity, our sponsor and the champions of the past, it's such a fun week to enjoy their presence in our city, watch them play a game at the ages of 50 to 65. It's really exciting. And then they bring in the greats of golf, Nicholas, and those guys come in, and Dave Stockton and Tony Jacklin and the ladies, Nancy Lopez.
Yeah.
So all of that's moving forward in the right direction, and I'm looking forward to the Live tournament. Yeah. I want to see some of those guys, and it's got the Golf Club of Houston. It's we're going to be able to enjoy golf because that was made for a PGA Tour event.
Yeah.
And we got great parking, we got great access, and we got a great golf course.
Yeah.
So it's a fun 2.5 months moving forward up to the U.S. Open.
Yeah. No, we have a great stretch in front of us. Charlie, I'm excited for the Insperity Invitational. The player that will be at the media day, kind of doing some, we're going to do some Q&As is Boo Weekly.
Boo is a buddy of mine, and I got a story about Boo. He saved this old man.
He saved you?
Yeah, he saved me, and it was he came around, and we'll put that on the air maybe next week.
Yeah, perfect. As far as the Houston Open in 2 weeks, we have the Valspar Championship next week in Tampa at Innisbrook. Then the Houston
Great golf course.
7 under par, won it last year. I love the higher scoring winning golf courses.
Snake Pit.
Taylor Moore, first time winner, won it. Then we have the Houston Open, and then we have San Antonio. We are done. We are done here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour. We'll be back next Saturday, take you through Valspar, give you a rundown for the Masters. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Abigail, behind the ones and twos. We'll see you next week.
Abigail, good job.
On the Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Thank you, Charlie.
See ya.